Thank you, ma'am. I stand here on behalf of the NCPA to speak on the supplementary demands for grants. I do understand that this entire budget has come during exceptionally challenging times. And globally, the pandemic has really put every country, every state, every human being and family under absolutely unnatural pressures. So during these challenging times, and I like to thank an issue this morning raised by Nitin Gadkari ji. He was very complimentary to the government of Maharashtra and especially the finance minister of Maharashtra for giving a very good budget during these challenging times. And we are looking to work closer with this government because cooperative federalism and supporting each other during these challenging times is really the need of the hour. So I would like to just highlight a few points which Government of Maharashtra and the central government, I think we could work together to deliver superior results to people of the country who are really suffering in these challenging times. I would like to go back to a couple of points just to highlight them and reiterate them, which Professor Roy spoke in his speech. I think he talked about fiscal deficit and he talked about monetizing land. We are not against monetizing. Somebody else from the other side immediately corrected and said, "Aapke time mein hua tha." Zarur hamare time mein hua tha. It was a very progressive policy that we had done of restructuring and trying out PPP models which would work. But I think the concern that he was raising was that this time is an extra aggressive effort to monetize, especially in departments which is railways, telecom, road, power, youth, civil aviation, petroleum, shipping and ports. And if the Honorable Minister would kindly clarify, is even LIC. Now, I understand that a certain amount of disinvestment is need of the hour when we are all in the global game. But aggressively, from what we read in the newspapers, is why is this government in such a big hurry for 8 mantralayas, 8 ministries, which are all lucrative businesses for the government and LIC? So if you could kindly clarify this question.
Sir, अंत में बोले, madam.
I just want to clarify that the LIC is not privatization, ma'am.
Since the members asked for the clarification, I would allow Minister to clarify. If the clarification was
Better for us.
yeah.
मैंने सिर्फ इतना ही कहना है कि LIC की कोई प्राइवेटाइजेशन नहीं हो रही, उसका केवल पब्लिक इशू आने की बात हो रही है।
IPO.
दोनों में बहुत अंतर है। IPO.
Still, the government shares would be diluted with the IPO. So it's still, you are not selling it completely, but net comes back to the same thing.
But that's how money is raised.
Yeah, but that could be a real, but we have serious concerns about it. That's all we are trying to flag. The other point which he made, I think, which the Honorable Finance Minister also clarified, is about the money given to the poor. I think the point which Professor Roy was trying to make is, compared to America, the amount of investment made in these accounts which was started during the UPA. You are also a part of this house that time when Chidambaram ji talked about every household and every human citizen of India must have an account. Was started at that time. Anyway, governance is something which is continuity. So it's not about you did it, we did it. We started it, we continued it. So we are very flattered that you took few of our policies ahead. We are very happy about it. But the point I think he was trying to make is 6,000 rupees is not good enough. And you gave 500 rupees 3 times. So it's 1,500 rupees, which is really not enough. So I think the point he was trying to drive was it was chicken feed. I think we need a lot more money to be invested in the system for the economy to boom. Otherwise, it's not going to take off. The other point he made was about petrol and diesel. I won't go, he's already spoken, but I would like to make a small intervention about LPG, which is very, very important. And I'm so glad there's a lady sitting at the helm of affairs, so she will probably understand this much faster than any other man. I don't want to get into the gender trap, but we do balance our homes. I still remember the Honorable Prime Minister had come for a Ujjwala Yojana program to Maharashtra. It was a very big program. We were also excited about it. And if अच्छे को तो अच्छा बोलना ही चाहिए. So if he was doing it with the right intention, he had given 8 crore Ujjwala Yojana connection. That connection was given in Maharashtra. And this story was done by Mr. Krishna Kende. I would like to bring him because he did this story very effectively. And he said there was a lady called Aisha Sheikh who lived in Ajanta. She got that thing. And she said that cylinder तो पहली बार मिल गया, लेकिन अभी भाव 800 रुपया है. जो जिस घर में वो रहती है उसका भाड़ा 600 रुपया है. और सिलेंडर का भाव 800 रुपया है। तो अभी सिलेंडर घर में रहे कि खाना खा के पकाए, क्या करे? So I think you need to clarify this stand. And there's another lady, Mandabai from Paitan. I'm purposely giving the names so they are not hypothetical. This is Ujjwala scheme. सर कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर्स हैकल करे तो अभी क्या कुछ बचा ही नहीं फिर पार्लियामेंट्री डेमोक्रेसी में. So this Mandabai from Paitan and Aisha Sheikh from Ajanta, these were given certificates in the Ujjwala Yojana by the government. So I think I would like to ask this clarification of this government, and the Honorable Finance Minister in one of his, I think, replies last week said that states must help and states and the centre government should work together in reducing petrol and diesel prices. The problem is GST money has not come. So states don't have money for their social sector programs. हमारे जो गरीब है, शोषित है, पीड़ित है, वंचित है, उनके जो सोशल सेक्टर प्रोग्राम्स है, आपने जो जीएसटी का पैसा नहीं दिया, डिले किया, उसमें उनके सारे प्रोग्राम्स रुके पड़े हैं. ये जो डिजिटल डिवाइड हो रहा है आज बच्चों की पैंडेमिक के कारण, उसमें हमारे पैसे नहीं जा पा रहे. और ऊपर से अगर हम और भी पेट्रोल और डीजल में भी जो 10 पैसे हमको मिल रहे हैं सरकार को किसी, वो भी अगर दे दे तो खाने का ही मुश्किल हो जाएगा स्टेट्स को. सो आई थिंक दिस गवर्नमेंट नीड्स टू बी अ लिटिल मोर एम्पैथेटिक एंड रियली सी द नंबर्स बिफोर दे आस्क अस टू मेक सच इंटरवेंशन. सो आई मेक अ हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट विद द ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर टू हेल्प अस विद दिस जीएसटी रिलीफ. देन there's a very interesting speech which honorable leader from the BJP made. His name is Tapir Goa, right? I could be pronouncing Tapir Gao. He made some very interesting suggestions. He talked about vaccination and he said the Prime Minister created the vaccine and Atmanirbhar Bharat. I'm very happy about it, and it doesn't really matter who takes credit for it. But I just want to tell him that, just 2 minutes, I'll wrap it up with the clarification, that these companies that he's talked about in Atmanirbhar Bharat, which was started by the Honorable Prime Minister, just to flag them, they were all started in the 70s. Atmanirbhar Bharat, made in India, 1970 में सीरम इंस्टीट्यूट जब बनी थी, वो पूना में की कंपनी है. एवरी ग्लोबली चाइल्ड जो पोलियो हो, ड्रॉप्स या बाकी कोई आजार हो, वो सारी वैक्सीन पूना डिस्ट्रिक्ट में महाराष्ट्र में बनती है. जरूर आत्मनिर्भर भारत है, लेकिन ये 1980 वाला आत्मनिर्भर भारत है. एंड सिंस आई एम शॉर्ट ऑफ टाइम, आई डोंट वांट टू गेट इनटू डिटेल्स, बट आई वांट टू आस्क अ पॉइंटेड क्वेश्चन टू द ऑनरेबल फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर दैट यू हैव पुट आउट 35,000 crores for vaccination. Why is this drive when we have enough vaccines available in India? Why is this not in full-fledged process? I want to ask him this. Why are we not going for universal vaccination, which is the need of the hour, except in state like mine, Karnataka, where you're ruling, the cases are going up. So why is universal vaccination not being encouraged if you have 35,000 crores already allocated? Then he talked about defense. The same member was talking about defense. I just want to flag it very quickly because I'm short of time, that in defense, please get it on record that the monies for the Air Force and the Navy, the budget has gone down. It has not gone up. Then he talked about, Bharat talked about Narega. I think the Honorable Finance Minister has already made a statement that government may increase Narega spending if it arises, which is a statement. I would like to ask a pointed question that why have you not got it in the supplementary of demands when Narega is under this kind of pressure? So the demand is there. Why is this government not being proactive? So just the last point, that the budget's big worry is the food subsidy. We appreciate the interventions done by the government when the challenging times. There were 3 departments who worked exceptionally well with us. One was railways, the food subsidy, as well as external affairs. We are very grateful for the work they have done for us in feeding the poor. But the food subsidy, I think there's no clarity in this budget vis-a-vis FCI. Because FCI will have to resort to further borrowing from NSSF, possibly to the tune of 150 crores. You see what is happening in Punjab and Haryana. There is so much unrest in this. And if there is no clarity on FCI, I would request the Honorable Minister to do this and find a solution for cooperative federalism. There are a couple of more points, but I think since we're short of time, I appreciate you giving to time. But I would like to ask a pointed question on health, which you're going on and on. What are you committed to universal vaccination in this country or not? I expect you to give me a reply. Thank you for indulging me. Thank you, ma'am.